Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. A billion damage team is going to be showcased today for the Hydra. It's of course not on Hydra, something like Nightmare. It's not a corpulent cadaver team. It is a team that has been there since the launch of Hydra. I want to say maybe like a month after Hydra was released. This team came out of nowhere and really showcased the power of the Trundas. All right, you guys might know already what team I'm talking about. You can check out my other videos that I've done before on the Trundas, but this one was when I pushed as far as I could go. It was like a very long run. So let's have a look at the run. I'll show you guys the gear at the end. Right guys, I just passed the billion mark in terms of damage, and this team is looking great. Honestly, I don't know what is gonna mess this run up, and of course this run takes a long time, but that is what you have to expect, right? Out of runs that do billions of damage. If you're having the CVC clash for the Hydra clash, you kind of have to go that way if you're planning to end up in the top 3, where that's the only place where you can get the accessories rewards, right? So unfortunately we have to do these kind of runs, and these teams will be popping out in terms of who can use them and how far they can reach the Hydra in terms of damage. Of course, I think the corpulent cadaver team, I think that's gonna be nerfed. The Trunda team has not been touched ever since this was out, honestly. So unless they change something on Trunda, which I doubt they will, I think this team will be available to all players out there to reach high amounts of damage with honestly gear that you would use anyway on these champions, all right? So right now it becomes very difficult for me to keep my champions alive. The count here when you get devoured by the Hydra heads are 2 only, so I have to be very careful which heads to attack. And if I get something wrong, something dies, I'm gonna be in trouble. I don't know how much more damage I'll have available and how close I am to the maximum amount of turns, but obviously I'm not there yet because it doesn't show the 1000 mark, which would be the 2/3 way in. But yeah, it's looking great so far, and the damage is looking also pretty good. I think I should be able to do like a 1.5 with this team, honestly. And the rotation is like this, okay? You use the Trundas to do as much damage with your A2 when the heads are down, if possible. If not, then you use it when the heads are up, but not on the head that is strong affinity, obviously, because you'll get a weak hit, and that will kind of suck. And we have Gertug here, who just provides an insane amount of damage. And then the reset champion, which is Chimera. In this case, I just use him to obviously reset my cooldowns whenever it's possible. And the refresh accessories work very well here. If you are doing your tag arena, then you should have some of those available. The more you have, the better. But the MVP, honestly, I'm being very honest here, the MVP is Arbiter. She is keeping everyone alive. She's healing everyone. She's reviving everyone. She removes buffs. She applies weaken. There is nothing that this champion is not doing in terms of support for this team. Plus the Terminator boost, the 2 skills that she has. She has saved me so many times throughout this run. And as you can see, I'm closing into an hour. She has saved me so many times when one of my Trundas would die. I would need to revive. She gets immediately an extra turn. We do the Terminator boost again. You guys know it. And it works. It's a team that I know it's hard to make, and it's very difficult in terms of the champions. But if you have the tools available to do this, it's a very strong team. This can work on normal for high amounts of damage, can work on hard for, again, pretty high amounts of damage, not billion mark. I would say maybe if you have some insane Trundas, then yes, you could reach the billion mark on hard. But on brutal, I doubt you can reach the billion. It's just very hard. You need insane amounts of damage to actually reach that. So here, look at this. I'm in a little bit of trouble because it's always the head of mischief that devours my champions. But I do have the possibility here to bring it back bring back my champion with the A2 here. Look at that. Boom, we burst them and get back our champion. We don't do a lot of damage because of this. The mark when the heads are up again after they were down, that reduces their damage by a ton, but we still do good damage. So here, even with the weakened debuff, look at that. Boom, boom. The Trundas hit for quite a lot. I'll show you guys the gear in the end, but it's a very, very amazing team that I've been using honestly for my hard runs, but now with the Hydra clash, I thought, yeah, might as well go for normal. I'll lose out on some rewards from Brew tool, but I don't really care. So here, look at this. I think this is going to be the end. We also reached the turn count limit. This becomes very difficult. I am feared. My arbiter has been yeah, my arbiter has been eaten. I am feared. I am low health on the Trundas. In one turn, this is impossible. I should not get feared here. If I'm feared here, this is finished, by the way. Yeah, there it is. Feared. 2 fears in a row. All right. I don't know, guys. Feared again. Let's remove the fear there, and maybe we can get with just simple attacks. No, okay. This is almost impossible right now to stay alive. Look at that. This is crazy. Yep, that's the one Trunda gone. This Trunda will also be gone. And this is the run, guys. Honestly, I could have pushed a little bit better with some luckier RNG where you're not eaten. When the right champion is not eaten, you always have that one other champion available. You see my damage overall. Look at that. Trunda with 500,000. The other Trunda with 526,000. This is the team that you want to be going for. Okay. If you have the kit available, you can use one of these teams. You can use Corpulent Cadaver as another team if you have all the champions available for that as well. And these are the high damage potential kind of teams that you can run. And the more of these tools you have available, the better it's going to be for your clan. And if you have a look at my keys that I've done already, this was on normal. So 1 billion damage on normal. So 1 billion points. I did on Nightmare. I did a very solid round of 227 million with my Crazia team. And then I did on hard the Corpulent Cadaver team where I did like a 2.1 billion, which is 4 billion points for my own team. I'm not the best, of course, in terms of the damage that I've done to help out, but I've done a lot, and you can see the competition here. This guy did, I think, 44 billion points for his team with the double Yumiko plus the Corpulent Cadaver team. It gets kind of insane. But let's have a look at the gear, and you'll see on how easy it is if you can push. All right, how easy it is to actually go with this kind of team if you have the champions available. Because here's my Trunda. All right, look at that. She is on a lethal set. The lethal set is just something that you would use on Trunda already, so you can use this for the Hydras as well. Her speed is honestly a little bit low, but 6.7k attack, not the best. I've seen Trundas with 9,000 attack, and honestly, if I could push that, the amount of damage that I could have done would be insanely higher. 280 crit damage with the lethal, which is like the better savage. And I try to get as much refresh accessories as possible. I don't have the best refresh because it's very RNG heavy. So these are my refresh accessories. One attack here. I didn't have an amulet to use. Then of course her skills are maxed out. Lightning Cage. Honestly, I could have changed this to something else, probably the one that executes the heads, the Soul Reaper. Since I now have her at the 5 stars, I only thought about it after I was well in the runs. I was like, maybe I should have changed my blessings a little bit. In terms of masteries, I have, of course, Helm Smasher. And that is how I've built both of my Trundas, basically. You build them the same way. The speeds could be a little bit higher. Here is my Arbiter. Like nothing special. Her masteries are just support masteries that you usually use for PvP. And then just a lot of speed. If you want more ideal runs, I would say the Regent set would be better. Because the Regent set obviously helps you stay alive with all the poisons on you at all times. maybe with high resistance, high accuracy. If you want to go deep into that, then that would work a little bit better. But you do need the accuracy, I believe, at least for that A1 in order to apply the weaken, and the A2 to reduce the enemy buffs. Then we go on to Venus, which honestly, this is my Venus that I use for PvP. So she was just in Stone Skin, about 200 speed with 500 accuracy, but you can change these stats if you want to. She was very tanky also, so she wasn't dying throughout. And then my Gerbtug here, he was built with the Immortal gear plus Perception. The Perception is there basically for him to land that block buffs. That is very crucial for this kind of team to work. 212 speed, 3.2, 57,000 health. Honestly, refresh also work very well on him. You don't really need them, but they work well on all. You need him maxed out because the cooldown on this one needs to be as low as possible. 3 turns plus this is so strong. The heal plus the shield is very strong. And then we have masteries. I went for Eagle Eye, but it honestly depends on what kind of team you want to run and what kind of different masteries. You can go something like War Master, but honestly, your damage is not gonna be coming from Gerbtug or your Arbiter. They're just the supports here. And then finally, Prince Kaimar is just the reset champion, right? I changed out his accessories just for the run. 3 refresh. Not ideal for other situations, but for this one, it was, of course, ideal. 313 speed. He dropped a little bit because of the gear changes, but it's still very well. And it helps you get that rotation going off his longer cooldown of the resets, okay? Which is 6 turns, kind of insane to think about. But you have to go with Prince Kaimar for this one if you don't have the multiple Yumikos. Mastery is not really impactful here, but I do have Eagle Eye for PvP. So that is the team, guys. What do you think about it? How close is it to something that you would build? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.